I'm Dutch, and let's react to the Americans. Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Johan, and I'm a typical Dutchman. And if you're planning to come over to here for your holidays, or if you want to live here forever, if you're wondering why is everything in America so expensive in comparison with Europe, then you are at the right channel, because in this channel we take a look at life and living and react to life and living in America versus life and living in Europe. And for today we're going to take a look again at a video about the teachers are quitting. I did one yesterday, and being a teacher myself for over 20 years, so I was wondering what is going on in the United States, why all these teachers are leaving. And so this far of the video of yesterday, I see that teachers are leaving because of the new terrible knowledge that the new Gen A has, and that they don't get paid enough and that they don't behave right. So this is another one from Attitude English teacher. So this is one who does the English teaching. I don't know if it's American or not, but teachers disrespect why teachers are quitting. So it's the disrespect that students has for teachers, and as I understand, also no more or not enough backing from the admin or from the principal, as it's called in the United States, and that's why they leave. So I'm curious, because this essentially it's part 2 of yesterday, but it's a different kind of video. I want to know why I left teaching, says this young lady, and I want to know why.
One of the biggest reasons I decided to leave teaching was because of student behaviors.
I had a student that told me, "What you gonna do about it?"
What you gonna do about it? Yeah.
Where it's going to tell you need this much of a deposit, or you need to be a member.
Classrooms across the country have dominated headlines this year. Teachers are quitting in record numbers, and students have ranked among the most disruptive in the world.
Done. Give me this.
Whoa! Oh! Ain't no way she did it. Yes, she did. Ooh. Somebody was trying if a phone can fly. The phone can do everything, but maybe it can fly too. She tried it. It failed. It does not fly. You can try if it float in water. You can try that one. It's a better one.
Tired of telling y'all to put your phones up. I said it 4 times before the bell.
I have never witnessed as much violence from children as I witnessed from 4 different boys in a class of 16.
In a class of 16. Oh, that's a small class. Losing control, it's depend on what age they are, of course. 16 kids. I'm used to teaching at the age of 16 until 22, depending on how long. Usually 16 to 20, but yeah, it could be 21, 22, when they enter later, etc. But 16 and older. So 4 boys in a class of 16
kids.
And people are laughing. Yeah, I'm gonna go.
They made the teacher leave.
Oh, I don't even care if I don't get paid today. I'm just a stupid old white lady. That's all.
She's packing her stuff. I know who's winning.
I don't care. I'm gonna do it anyway.
Hey, whoa.
I'm walking.
I don't know who says, oh, if it's the students, then you are somewhere where you want to be, because then other students correct students. But if it's not students and it's your colleagues who say, whoa, then it has no effect. If students correcting students, then there is some hope that, but...
I'm walking right out the door. I won't ever be back.
I won't ever be back. Whoa! She's gone. and somebody filmed this. Maybe the reason that she's gone, because somebody filmed this. I see him sitting with a phone, and probably more kids are sitting with a phone. And the one who filmed this had a phone too. Maybe.
Teachers are quitting due to disrespect. Teaching has always been a demanding profession, requiring a blend of expertise, patience, and passion. However, one growing reason for the exodus of teachers from classrooms is the pervasive issue of disrespect.
Serious question.
Yeah, it's a hard profession. If you get paid enough, what we don't get paid enough. So we do it because we like to do it. Alabama teacher. I was looking if I had a mistake, but it actually says poisoned by students, unable to work. There's a lawsuit. Oh, man.
From classrooms is the pervasive issue of disrespect.
Serious question. Can someone let me know when we got to this point in time when it became the students versus the teachers? I cannot think of a time when I was in school that I had any amount of hatred for my teachers.
Well, it became student versus teachers. I don't know. Sometimes I had some discipline problems in my classes, but most of the time we worked together. And as long as you're backed up by admin or by someone with more authority, then it will be okay. But if that, yeah.
Like, sometimes I had a teacher that I just didn't vibe with, or, I thought that they were mean or something like that. But it never came to my mind to do anything to harm my teacher because I was upset with them or because I didn't like them or because they were just simply doing their job.
From students, parents, and even school administrators, the lack of respect for educators undermines their role and makes it increasingly difficult to sustain a career in education. Here are key ways that disrespect is driving teachers to quit.
Oh, you're bending down. You sure you aren't going to
Whoa.
break a hip? No, my hips are actually in better shape than yours.
There's a fight going on the backside, I believe.
You want to tell me why that is? I don't know. Maybe it's because I exercise and you don't.
The first.
Okay, real comeback. But I don't know what's went on in the backside of the class because it looks like they were two fighting.
Fight I tried to break up and failed. Year 1, okay? 10 long years ago. I'm teaching 11th grade English in the Bronx.
Try to break up some 11th graders in the Bronx is a bad start to the conversation.
Told this kid, I said, you need to move your seat. You're talking too much. You're yapping.
Doing all that yapping.
I was like, you just need to move over like 4 spaces over.
Because the hell I am.
And he was like, no. He starts arguing with me and he wouldn't move. And all of a sudden from the back of the room, this kid jumps out of his desk and he's like, you need to listen to Miss Cowell right now and move your seat or I'm taking you outside.
That man said I stand 10 toes down with her.
And I was like, what do I do? Like, help me.
Yeah. Do what she says or we take it outside. Yeah, you need the support of your students, but...
Me. They're both yelling. I'm like 3 months into teaching. I went out in the hallway and just started yelling for help.
I would have to...
Yeah, it's a good then walk out of your young teacher new in the class and you can handle it. Walk out of the class, go to the next classroom and ask a colleague to assist and with both of you try to handle the situation.
Did they throw hands?
They never did. Mr. Porter, I'll never forget it. He came running and he broke it up. But I was terrified. I was like, I don't even know what to do. And of course, all the other kids are laughing.
Disrespect from students. Classroom management has become a significant challenge as student behavior increasingly reflects a lack of respect for authority. Teachers report incidents of verbal abuse, defiance, and disruptions that make it nearly impossible to maintain a productive learning environment.
Yeah, but classroom order is something that is, at least in the Netherlands, taught very extensively. And I was over in Belgium. There it was part of the education once they are a young teacher at the school, but not at the education of the teacher. So two countries next to each other had two totally different approaches of how to do class order, how to have class order. And yeah, it's different, but this, I will end your life right now, man. Sitting under a second student threatens the teacher. Oh. And again, someone is filming this. I don't know what they're doing. This looked like Lego something. I don't know. But if you let students get under your skin, then you're done.
In extreme cases, physical altercations and threats further increase the stress of the job. These behaviors not only drain teachers emotionally, but also compromise the safety and focus of the classroom.
The entitlement of kids has gone too far. This is a teacher that she's quitting because of, one, the disrespect of the children, the parents. So it's like, you cannot reprimand these kids. You cannot tell them anything. This is why I prefer to work with toddlers, because
at the end of the day, they don't know any better. Yeah. Parents, once, if they are on your side, you're lucky. But if they are on the side of their kid, you really got a hard time to discipline one of their kids, their son or daughter.
Because at the end of the day, they don't know any better. They're just learning. But this is when you have to start teaching them boundaries, respect your teachers, respect adults, because how is it that this teacher is going to work and she's being physically assaulted by these kids? Parents do better. You know why? Because you don't even want your kids in the summer. You're like, where can I put them? Where can I send them? I understand that it's difficult, but when you cannot stand your kids' behavior, how do you think the teachers feel in school? Do better.
Yeah. It's a good one. And during COVID period, when the students were at home the entire day, and parents also were at home because they are not part of the critical job that we had over here in the Netherlands. And they worked also all day from home by remote. They found out how bad some kids, not all of them, some kids are at home and how they are at school. And if they don't do anything, you know what she's saying?
Better. Teach them freaking boundaries.
Disrespect from parents. Many teachers feel unsupported or outright disrespected by parents. In some cases, parents undermine teachers' authority by refusing to hold their children accountable for poor behavior or performance. Blaming teachers for students' shortcomings rather than collaborating to address issues creates a toxic dynamic. This
Yeah. Oh, we're only 5 minutes in the video. Oh, man. These are all true facts.
lack of trust and respect from parents leaves teachers feeling isolated and undervalued.
They tried to add a 31st kid to a class that was already full. I had 2 students in there that were autistic, 1 student in there that was like severely autistic. I had a lot of kids that had different behavior problems. I had kids that had come back from the alternative school. I had a lot of SPED kids. There were a lot of behaviors in that class, and that was the class that I took.
A class full of dynamics, 30s, and then they want to put on a 31? 30 of those. Damn.
To lunch. And so I didn't realize that like the class was stressing me out to the point where I was like physically, I didn't know I was getting sick until I was like being put into, you know, the back of the ER, into the back of the ambulance. And it's like, the day that I quit, I remember standing there crying, and it was the last period of the day. And I remember I just felt so disrespected. I felt like they didn't value me. They didn't care that I was getting sick. They didn't care about my health.
Disrespect from...
Yeah, I would say from the admin, but it's already there. Yeah, if you don't backed up by the admin, then...
administrators. A significant source of frustration for teachers is the perceived lack of support from school administrators. Teachers often feel micromanaged, with their professional judgment dismissed in favor of rigid policies and standardized test metrics. Unrealistic demands and criticism from administrators contribute to a culture where teachers feel they are not respected as professionals. This erosion of trust between teachers and school leaders discourages long-term commitment to the profession.
Yeah. Over here in the Netherlands, I will say that's still there to a certain point, but because we are unified, it's organized how this works, and I think that's a great part of what's missing in the United States about teaching and the teachers in general, is that they have some kind of union of all teachers so that they can ask, or better said, demand of their administrators to have better working conditions. And if they don't, the teachers go on strike. And then the parents have a problem because their kids who does not behave is at home and they cannot work, etc., etc. And the admins have a problem. That's the power of unification. And that's what we're doing over here in the Netherlands and, of course, all over Europe. We don't do it anymore. But if it's really bad, then the entire sector of the education says, okay, we're going to strike. 2 days, no one's going to work. Free kids until this is solved, whatever the problem may be. But it's one person versus 30 kids and the entire administrator. That doesn't work. You need to unify within the school, within the group of schools, or even within the entire state. Then you can change this. Oh, yeah.
I'm tired of telling y'all to put your phones up. I said it 4 times before the bell. Goodness gracious. And you know what? You need to replace it because I'm tired. Y'all pull your phone out, you get the same thing. I'm done.
If you put your phone out, then it happens the same thing. Somebody is filming this with his phone.
Oh, it's funny to you?
Societal disregard for teachers. Beyond the classroom, teachers face a broader societal lack of respect. Despite their crucial role in shaping future generations, teachers are often underpaid, overworked, and subjected to stereotypes that diminish their contributions.
My students
in the United States
have been so disrespectful, so difficult, and you know what? I'm just done with it, and I love their stupid faces, so I went to Walmart and I got some supplies to destroy them. And I know what you're thinking. Andrea, you just got a bunch of candy and stuff. How is that destroying them? Listen, Linda, there is nothing more challenging for someone than continuing to be awful to someone who gives you candy. Try it sometime. Am I rewarding bad behavior? Maybe, but is it going to help me survive and put a little bit of Christmas spirit in their grinchy, decrepit souls? Probably. I'm just saying that if your students are acting like cesspools of hormones and grinchiness, a little bit of candy could probably go a long way, and it might even melt
Christmas
your dead,
something?
cold soul as well.
Public discourse sometimes portrays teachers as lazy or ineffective, ignoring the systemic challenges they face. This negative perception further demoralizes educators, making them question their value in society.
The reason teachers are leaving is not because of teacher pay, and I will tell you why. I'm a band director, which means I get paid more than most teachers. It's an incentive to show up and stay late, for sure, but it's not enough. Even if every teacher in the state of Texas got a $10,000 raise per year, we would still be dealing with some of the same issues we're dealing with right now. Let me just tell you what I've been dealing with in the last 48 hours. There's a list. Yesterday, I broke up an assault in my band hall. Not a fight, an assault. A kid punching another kid in the head at least 4 or 5 times. Some mystery kid decided to get creative over the last 12 hours when I wasn't paying attention and literally took every single string off of every single French horn that we own, making them unplayable. I set up a drum.
Oh, she's okay. She's a musical teacher. What? Yeah.
Set station for my percussionist. I was so excited because they have been begging me all year to play drum set. Took 24 hours for somebody to break the hi-hat. People stealing and using instruments that aren't theirs, even if it's in a locker. I had another kid hit somebody else in the face when their trumpet was on their face because they were blowing it in their direction. I had another kid in the same class flip me off.
48 hours.
And then try to lie about it. And before you come at me in the comments saying I knew what I signed up for, yeah, I do get it. But I've been told from multiple people on my campus that the band kids are the best acting, well-behaved students on campus, and I still have to deal with this garbage every single day.
Her kids are the best. So, what is the rest on the campus doing?
This is not a money problem. It's not an admin problem. It's not a parent problem. It is an emotional dysregulation problem.
Yeah, but it's also a parental problem.
My 13 years of teaching, have I ever had such a problem with kids keeping their hands to themselves and keeping them from destroying property? I understand they're kids and part of our job is to keep them regulated and to teach them how to do it, but I have repeated myself so many times this year. I have posted things on the wall. I've given them lectures. I've written them up. I've failed them. The corrective measures that we've used in the past do not work anymore. These kids do not care if they fail. They do not care if they're written up. They do not care if they get OSS. The only thing that most of them care about is how they're going to be entertained in the next 5 minutes of their life.
Yeah. Let me entertain you. But that's not the function of a teacher, to entertain. And that students only consume, because that's what a lot of students do. They come to school. They go to school to go to school. That's it. Nobody is at home, so let's go to school. Or whatever they do.
And I try not to be a millennial teacher that blames technology because I am steeped in technology. I love TikTok. I use technology in my class all the time. But it's as if some of these kids have literally given up on life. It's like they've given up on doing anything special. And
now she's emotional because of the kids. That's heartbreaking. It's really hard. Oh, they are 12 and they are giving up on life. They don't care if they have good grades or if they're learning anything. All they care of what I'm going to do for the next 5 minutes.
They're 12.
Yeah.
They're 12. I was so excited to start this year because I wanted to make some kind of an impact and get back into the classroom, but I feel like I've been chasing my tail all year. I love my kids, but I'm beaten and abused and tired. The system doesn't work and we are failing them. And the teachers, we're failing teachers too.
Impact on teacher morale. The cumulative effect of disrespect from multiple sources takes a heavy toll on teachers' morale. Many enter the profession with a passion for making a difference, only to find their efforts devalued at every turn. Over time, this disillusionment leads to burnout, with many educators deciding that the emotional cost is simply too high to continue.
My name is Celia. I have been in public.
Yeah. I resigned from my teaching job after 15 years. Yeah, public education.
Education for over 15 years, and this week I officially resigned from the classroom, from public education. And I cannot explain the amount of freedom and stress I feel off of my body, like on my physical body. And I have a new job, and it's a stressful job, you know, a good paying job, but there's just nothing like the stress of teaching. I don't know, I was sad, of course. I was at a really good campus, couldn't have asked for better kids, better admin, but there's just something different about the stress of teaching.
Why this matters. When teachers leave the profession due to disrespect, the impact extends beyond the classroom. Students lose experienced and dedicated educators, schools struggle to fill vacancies, and the quality of education declines. Addressing disrespect is not just about retaining teachers, but also about preserving the integrity of education itself.
They cannot stop talking when I start talking. It doesn't matter like how many
Yeah. I recognize this one.
positive reinforcements I give. It doesn't matter how many incentives I have. That does not matter. I've built relationships already so far this year. And like, it still takes me about 2-3 minutes in between every single like little pause I have to take to do something to get them back on track, because they're constantly just like, they don't care what I'm doing or what I'm saying. And I told them, like, I'm like, you guys come to school to learn, but you also come to school because you need to learn how to human.
Yes.
And you do not know how to human now.
Right.
So we need to help you get that on track. And I mean, even though like last year was a pretty normal year for our school, we didn't have really any virtual anything. We're not going to start seeing kids that are socialized and like have, you know, those school behaviors under control-ish for years.
What can be done? To combat this issue, schools and communities must take deliberate steps.
So a lot of the time when a student is acting out, it's usually during work time. And so in the moment, you kind of have to decide, is what they're doing so disrespectful and distracting that I simply cannot continue with my lesson? Or is it something that I can temporarily ignore and then try to deal with on the side? I feel like some kids, when they're acting this way, they're waiting to see how the teacher reacts. And so if you blow up and make a big scene about them swearing at you or not listening to you, then...
They always try. They always try. How far can I go? When is the point reached that he absolutely cannot have it anymore? Yeah. And if they know that point, you're done.
And that shows them that they can set you off. And so I feel like they're more likely to set you off if they know that you will react in front of the whole class and kind of like make a fool of yourself. So yeah, continue as you are and then have a one-on-one conversation with them. I usually think it's better to have these conversations like one-on-one, like maybe in the hallway, or like, I know people say don't take away recess, but maybe at the start of recess for the first 5 minutes, you just sit down and you say, hey, I can tell that there's some tension between us. And so start off by asking, is there something that I have done to you that has made you upset, that is making you act this way? Let yourself be vulnerable. Sometimes you maybe like looked at them wrong one day and they just like can't get over it, or maybe like you made a comment to them that you didn't realize was rude in their eyes, but you've upset them and they're trying to process how to deal with that, but they don't feel like they can tell you, so they're going to act that way instead of just telling you what's going on. So give them the opportunity to tell you exactly what's wrong, but you...
Good tips. This is all valid.
You maybe did that upset them so that you can correct it. But if it's not really anything that you're doing and it's just kind of the way that they're behaving, one of the things that my mentor teachers, when this happened to me during my final teaching practicum, said was just to lean in as much as possible. And so again, if during class they're not doing the work but they're not being disruptive, take that as a win. And then when you do talk to them, don't be so worried about them not doing the stuff for school right away.
This is an important one. Build relationship with them. Not personally, not specifically outside of the academics, but building a relationship is the best part. Know to learn them. Take time to know what they are, what they like, and what they do. It's yeah.
Right away, try and build the relationship with them first. If a student doesn't sense that you care about them as a person, why would they want to do anything for you? And so if you've had the conversation and if you ask them if you've done something wrong, or maybe something was going on in the classroom that you hadn't noticed that was bothering them, and you've tried building the relationship and you're still not making a lot of progress, then they always say it's a good opportunity to contact the parents. But in the situations I was dealing with, the parents did not care about being involved in their students' schooling. So at that point, I think it's time for you to kind of transfer the responsibility over to your administrators, because they have more experience and a little bit more power, so they can help solve the problems that you're not dealing with it by yourself.
If they want to help you, then you have the right admins with you. But if they don't, then you have a problem.
Strengthen classroom discipline. Schools should implement policies that support teachers in maintaining respectful and orderly classrooms.
And that's what we're doing over here in Europe in general. Yeah. I wouldn't say the Netherlands, we do, but in Europe in general.
Have never witnessed as much violence from children as I witnessed from 4 different boys in a class of 16 kids.
Yeah.
There were so many days, including today, that I have had to fear for my life.
What? Fear for her life?
And fear for my own safety, and evacuate an entire class of children because of the behavior of 1 or 2 students who were attacking me or my co-teacher or a
co-teacher, though they were with 2 of them on a class of 16. That's Lux. Woo.
other students in the classroom. And I'm terrified. I am terrified to go back. Because what can you do? What can you do whenever kids are swinging jump ropes at their peers or chucking water bottles at you or grabbing handfuls of dirt to throw at you because they know if they act poorly enough or dangerously enough, then they will be allowed to go home? What do you do?
Yeah. You send him home. That's the target. So that's the incentive. If I behave bad, then I go home and I have my freedom. Don't send them home.
I love education and I have wanted nothing more in my life than to be a teacher. But coming home from my school scared every day because of the actions of 6, 7, and 8-year-old children.
6, 7, and 8? Oh, I always thinking like this is what kids do, 16, 17. But 6, 7, and 8?
This is why teachers are quitting.
Yeah.
If any
I understand.
anyone was wondering why teachers are quitting, it's not because we don't love the children. It's not because we don't love teaching. It's because we cannot handle the violence of these children who know that there's nothing that we can do.
Encourage parental collaboration. Building partnerships between teachers and parents fosters mutual respect and shared responsibility for student success.
Me quitting as a teacher is teaching kids that they should quit. I think you have me confused with the parent of these children. As a teacher, it was my job to teach. I got paid to teach, just like any other job. And just like any other job, when it doesn't serve you or your family, you quit. My moral obligation is to my children. Me quitting my job was showing them when you're in a toxic system, when you're in a toxic relationship, when you're not getting paid what you're worth, when you're in an abusive environment, you don't stick around. That's what I'm teaching my children. And just because you
Her own children, I assume. Or the children in her class.
have a job with children that serves children doesn't mean you have a moral obligation to stay there. It is a job. When you're there, you're a good role model for those kids. It does come with responsibility. It is difficult, but it is a job. If I was a swim teacher for kids and then I quit my job, I wouldn't be pressured by society that I'm letting kids down and that I'm teaching kids to quit. There's an entitlement in our society. People think because they pay taxes that they are in charge of teachers. They think that they're the boss of teachers. They praise teachers in a
I pay your salary, so you...
gaslighting way. Oh, they don't do it for the money. They do it for the kids. They have such a big heart. They're so selfless. Where some of these traits of a teacher may be true, it is a job. Now that I quit my job, I am not getting paid anymore. I have moved on with my life. Teaching is a job.
Yeah, okay. She actually has compartmentalized. Teaching is a job. Period. No discussion. My job, I don't like my job, so I go.
Empower teachers. Administrators should trust teachers' expertise and provide them with the autonomy to make decisions in their classrooms.
I was ready to be paid absolutely nothing. I was ready to have to figure out how to teach to a test and also to teach to my students' needs. I was ready for parents to be either accusatory, unreliable, or outright hostile. I was ready for kids to not like school and to act out in normal kid ways, and I was prepared with fidgets and natural consequences and building relationships. But the system was not prepared for the volume and the scale of behaviors that they are seeing right now. At my school, we had 1, 2, 3 levels of intervention, and every single kid, if you followed the chart, would hit the top of the intervention plan. And those interventions are so time consuming that they're not designed to be done on every single kid in a grade. And in my school, we had grades where 70, 80% of the kids should have been in intensive counseling.
Yeah.
They were sometimes active dangers to themselves and others, and you couldn't get them removed until something had happened and it was already too late. And there's 1,000,001 answers to why the kids are acting like this, but the parent reason, the one behind all of them, is both very easy and very hard to wrap our heads around.
Shift societal perceptions. Public campaigns and policies that highlight the importance of teachers can help restore their status and respect in society.
Teaching in 2024 is a literal show. Like, the state of education in 2024 is horrible. The student behavior is off the chain. There is no consistent teacher because nobody wants to teach anymore, and I'm not surprised as to why. So many expectations. The workload is never ending. The pay is not that good. And then on top of that, these kids are disrespectful because there's literally no rules. There's no rules. It's all about positivity. There's no support for the
No rules. That's there's no support for the teacher. Yeah.
teacher. At the end of the day, you're the one having to take home all this work, deal with all these emotions, all these personalities for nothing. And I got to the point where I'm just so fed up with it. Like, I literally don't care anymore. My love for teaching has died. It died last year, honestly. I'm just done. Like, I was so passionate my first year, and then it just, after that, every year just kept getting worse and worse. And I'm like, this profession is not for me. Like teaching is such an abusive relationship. Like, I can't do it anymore. Like, I legit cannot do this anymore.
Yeah, I understand it. If this is 60 or 70% of your class, not 1 or 2 or maybe 3 in a group of 24, 25 kids, wow.
Provide mental health support. Schools should offer resources to help teachers manage the emotional toll of disrespect and stress.
This is always a tough job.
Brevard County High School teacher Dan Bennett says the word frustrated doesn't cover it. He's been a teacher for almost 30 years.
30 years?
These days, he says they're spending more time disciplining students than teaching them.
There are just so many issues and behaviors that we're dealing with right now, and it does seem to be getting worse.
The chairman of the Brevard County School Board tells me 42 teachers and 8 bus drivers have quit since.
50, man, 50? Oh, since school started in August.
School started in August because of students' misbehavior.
Ding, 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 ding. This means that you have to do something. And the board members are afraid more will quit too. Yeah, it's your problem. Do something.
Members are afraid more will quit too.
Disrespect in many forms is pushing teachers out of the profession they once loved. Addressing this issue requires a collective effort from students, parents, administrators, and society at large.
I had a student that told me, "What you gonna do about it?" Really? So I was ignoring them because we were out at tennis, and he was banging his racket, and so I told him he had to sit down. He lost 5 minutes of tennis. And he was like, "I don't care. I don't have to listen to you. I'm not going to do it. What you going to do about it?" So then he was in my space. So I said, "I need you to back up. What you going to do?" "What am I going to do? What are you going to do?" He said, "You got to go back to teacher school and be a better teacher." Okay, thank you for the tip.
Okay.
Oh my God. Like, this child acted like this last year. So I was waiting. I've been waiting for it to like really come pouring out at me. And I got a taste of it today. So I was just ignoring them. I was looking around. I was talking to other students, just saying my name over and over and over, like literally. And like a baby whining, teacher, 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 teacher. I said, can you please stop? No. What are you going to do? Teacher, 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 teacher. So I got my chair and I moved it, and they followed me. And I said, I need you to back up. I don't want you in my space right now. So I stood up to go help another student, and when I came back, the child had taken my chair and thrown it. And my stuff that was on it, my water bottle and my keys and my sweater, were on the ground. I didn't speak to him. I picked it up, I brought it, I moved it next to me. He came back up to me, teacher, 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 teacher. I don't know how to handle it. They say ignore negative behavior, so I was ignoring negative behavior, but he wanted a reaction. But now my anxiety is a little high and my nerves are a little...
Right, yeah. That's about what...
fried, but he wanted a reaction. I was trying not to give him one.
Teachers deserve to be treated as skilled professionals they are, with the respect and support necessary to thrive in their roles. Without
and that's often what in the United States is not being done. I fully understand it.
this shift, the education system risks losing its most valuable resource: passionate and dedicated educators.
Yeah. Whoa. And this is going to lead to another generation who does not know how to read, write, or do critical thinking, or... Wow. Along with the inflation and the high cost and don't finding a job, because these kids don't understand that if they do not learn something, they won't find a job. And having a job means that you can afford a car that you need for your job, that you can afford maybe a home, but they don't realize it. I know at that age, if we talk about 7, 8, or 9, they don't know. Their frontal lobe is not evolved enough to understand what is what the results are of this kind of behavior. They don't. You can't reason with them. I fear the worst again for America, but now from this side of society. Well, I hope you liked the video, and I hope you liked my reaction. So then press like, and if you want to see more of my videos, then this is a good point to start with. And otherwise, it would mean the world to me if you hit the subscribe button, so the algorithm knows that you like the videos and that more people should see this. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.